Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravadishthaya Ramakrishna Te Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityoramamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate, who came to establish universal religion. Let us pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, where the Master has given number of spiritual instructions for the spiritual seekers all over the world. So, today's topic I have chosen, the glory of divine name. In modern times, it is rather very difficult, so to say, to practice rigorous disciplines, austerities. So, Sri Ramakrishna has given a very easy method of pursuing the spiritual way, and that is repeating God's name. And it is very efficacious. It manifests power. It gives realization of the truth. It gives everything what you want. So whatever the person gets by practicing other yogas, by practicing severe austerities, the same thing is achieved by just repeating God's name. That is bhakti. Narada Maharshi has given Bhakti Sutras, superb. Bhakti means devotion. Bhakti means love, love of God. We are not unfamiliar with love. We know. And turn that love towards God. You get everything what you want. So, a Brahmo devotee asked a question to Sri Ramakrishna. Sir, what is the way? Sri Ramakrishna pointedly says, attachment to God. In other words, love for Him. And secondly, prayer. Love and prayer. These two things are enough to purify your heart and to take you onwards towards spiritual goal. Again the Brahmo devotee asks further, Master, which one is the way, love or prayer? Sri Ramakrishna said, first love and then prayer. Love is the fundamental principle of the whole creation. God incarnates himself on this earth now and then on account of his infinite love for the creation. So, love has got tremendous impact on our life. And Sri Ramakrishna himself has shown through his life how he loved Divine Mother. How he used to cry. He used to sing, cry to your mother Shyama with a real cry, O mind. And how can she hold herself from you? How can Shyama stay away? It is like the baby calling the mother. Mother will not delay to take the child into her laps. Same way, we are all children, we are all babies. Sri Ramakrishna represents Divine Mother. Calling on Sri Ramakrishna is calling on Divine Mother. And Sri Ramakrishna says, if you turn your love towards God and pray to Him, all doubts disappear. Assume the tamasic aspect of bhakti. That is, use force. What? I have repeated the names of Rama and Kali. How can I be in bondage anymore? How can I be affected by the law of karma? And Sri Ramakrishna sings, if only I can pass away repeating Durga's name, how can you then, O Blessed One, withhold from me deliverance? Wretched though I may be, I may have stolen a drink of wine, or killed a child unborn, or slain a woman or a cow, or even caused a Brahmin's death. But though it all be true, nothing of this can make me feel the least uneasiness. For through the power of your sweet name, my wretched soul may still aspire even to Brahmanhood. Nothing is impossible for the divine. What is needed is, we must give our heart sincerely to Him. Then He knows how to purify and how to take us into Him. And Sri Ramakrishna tells further, faith. Faith is very important. It plays a very important role in spiritual path. Once a guru said to his pupil, Rama alone has become everything. When a dog began to eat the pupil's bread, he said to it, O Ram, wait a little, I shall butter your bread. Such was his faith in the words of his guru. Continuing, the master said, and one must always chant the name and glories of God and pray to Him. He gives the example. An old metal pot must be scrubbed every day. What's the use of cleaning it only once? Further, one must practice discrimination and renunciation. One must be conscious of the unreality of the world. Renunciation means be bold to renounce what is not real. Be bound to renounce the things which cause bondage to you. Use your boldness that way. Sri Ramakrishna said further, through restlessness, the restlessness a child feels for his mother. The child feels bewildered when he is separated from his mother and weeps longingly for her. If a person can weep like that for God, he can even see Him. That intensity, that yearning must be there. That's what Sri Ramakrishna wanted to emphasize. At the approach of dawn, the eastern horizon becomes red. Then one knows it will soon be sunrise. Likewise, if you see a person restless for God, you can be pretty certain that he has not long to wait for his vision. A disciple asked his teacher, "Sir, please tell me how I can see God." "Come with me," said the Guru, "and I shall show you." He took the disciple to a lake, and both of them got into the water. All of a sudden, the teacher pressed the disciple's head under the water. After a few moments, he released him, and the disciple raised his head and stood up. Then the Guru asked him, "How did you feel?" The disciple said, "Oh, I thought I should die. I was panting for breath." Then the teacher said, "Well, when you feel like that for God, then you will know you have not long to wait for His vision." Then Sri Ramakrishna says to Bankim, a devotee, "Let me tell you something. What will you gain by floating on the surface? Dive a little under the water. The gems lie deep under the water. So what's the good of throwing your arms and legs about on the surface? A real gem is heavy. It doesn't float. It sinks to the bottom. To get the real gem, you must dive deep. That means you must practice spirituality intensely, not lukewarm practice." Then Bankim says, "Sir, what can we do? We are tied to a cork. It prevents us from diving." Sri Ramakrishna said, "All sins vanish if one only remembers God. His name has such tremendous power. It breaks the fetters of death. You must dive. Otherwise you can't get the gem." Then the Master sang, "Dive deep, O mind, in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love. Go seek, O mind, go seek Vrindavan in your heart, where with his loving devotees Sri Krishna sports eternally. Light up, O mind, light up true wisdom's shining lamp, and let it burn with steady flame, unceasingly within your heart. Who is it that steers your boat across the solid earth? It is your Guru," says Kabir. Meditate on his holy feet. All listened spellbound. Again Sri Ramakrishna said, "There are some who do not want to dive. They say, won't we become deranged if we go to excess about God? Referring to those who are intoxicated with divine love, they say, these people have lost their heads. But they don't understand this simple thing. God is the ocean of Amrit, immortality. Once I said to Narendra, suppose there was a cup of syrup and you were a fly. Where would you sit to drink the syrup? Narendra said, I would sit on the edge of the cup and stretch out my neck to drink it. Why? What's the harm of plunging into the middle of the cup and drinking the syrup? Narendra answered, Sir, then I should stick in the syrup and die. My child, said Sri Ramakrishna, that's not the nature of the nectar of Satchidananda. It is the nectar of immortality. Man does not die from diving into it. On the contrary, he becomes immortal. Therefore I say, dive deep, don't be afraid. By diving deep in God, one becomes immortal. But there is a way of doing it. Spirituality should be supported by practice of good character, virtues. It should be supported by your good conduct. When the devotee develops raga bhakti, that is passionate love of God, he realizes him. But one loses vaidhi bhakti, formal devotion, as easily as one gains it. This is formal devotion. So much japa, so much meditation, so much sacrifice and homa, so many articles of worship, and the recitation of so many mantras before the deity. Such devotion comes in a moment and goes in a moment. Many people say, well friend, we have lived on Havishya for so many days. There is only taking ghee bath. How many times we have worshipped the deity at our home and what have we achieved? But there is no falling away from raga bhakti. And who gets this passionate love for God? Those who have performed many meritorious deeds in their past births, or those who are eternally perfect. Think of a dilapidated house, for instance. While clearing away the undergrowth and rubbish, one suddenly discovers a fountain fitted with a pipe. It has been covered with earth and bricks, but as soon as they are removed, the water shoots up. Those who have passionate love for God don't say any such thing as, oh brother, how strict I have been about food, but what I have achieved. New farmers give up cultivating if their fields don't yield any crops. But hereditary farmers will continue to cultivate their fields when they get a crop or not. Their fathers and grandfathers were farmers. They know that they too must accept farming as their means of livelihood. Only those who have developed raga bhakti for God may be called his sincere devotees. God becomes responsible for them. If you enter your name in a hospital register, Sri Ramakrishna gives very nice similes. The doctor will not discharge you until you are cured. Those who are held by God have nothing to fear. The son who holds to his father while walking along the narrow ridge of a paddy field may slip if he absent-mindedly let go his father's hand. But if the father holds the son by the hand, there is no such danger. Is there anything impossible for faith? And a true devotee has faith in everything. The formless reality, God with form, Ramakrishna and the Divine Mother. Once while going to Kamarpukur, I was overtaken by a storm, Sri Ramakrishna said. I was in the middle of a big meadow. The place was haunted by robbers. I began to repeat the names of all the deities, Rama, Krishna and Bhagavati. I also repeated the name of Hanuman. I chanted the names of all of them. What does that mean? Let me tell you. While the servant is counting out the money to purchase supplies, he says, these pennies are for potatoes, these for eggplants, these for fish. He counts the money separately, but after the list is completed, he puts the coins together. When one develops love for God, one likes to talk only of God. If you love a person, you love to talk and hear about him. A worldly person's mouth waters while he talks about his son. If someone praises his son, he will at once say to the boy, go and get some water for your uncle to wash his feet. Those who love pigeons are highly pleased if you praise pigeons before them. But if you speak ill of pigeons, they will at once exclaim, has anyone in your line for 14 generations ever raised pigeons? One can attain everything through Bhakti Yoga. I wept before the mother and prayed, oh mother, please tell me. Please reveal to me what the yogis have realized through yoga and the jnanis through discrimination. And the mother has revealed everything to me. She reveals everything if the devotee cries to her with a yearning heart. She has shown me everything that is in the Vedas, the Vedanta, the Puranas and the Tantra. In the Kali Yuga, that is in the modern age, this modern age is called Kali Yuga, the path of devotion prescribed in Math is best. The path of karma is very difficult. Karma becomes a cause of bondage unless it is performed in a spirit of detachment. Further, the life of man nowadays depends on food. He has no time to observe the rituals enjoined by the scriptures. The patient dies if he tries to cure his fever by taking the decoction of herbs prescribed by the orthodox native physicians. Therefore, he should take a modern fever mixture. According to Narad, the devotee should sing the name and glories of God. The path of karma is not the right one for the Kali Yuga. The moment people do some activity, some kind of karma, immediately the first onslaught is ego. I have been working there. I am volunteer for so many years. So, what is my status? Nobody respects me. Nobody looks at me. Nobody invites me. Like the unnecessarily imagining all sorts of unpleasant things and becoming worse. So that is the effect of the karma. Selfless activity is not easy. So, you must develop love for God and be passionately attached to Him. The singing of the name and glories of God destroys the effect of past action. You don't have to perform duties all your life. As you develop unalloyed love and longing for God, your duties become fewer and fewer. After the realization of God, they completely drop away. When the young daughter-in-law is pregnant, her mother-in-law lessens her duties. After the birth of the child, she doesn't have to do any household work. Then the devotee asked, Master, how can I develop love for God? Sri Ramakrishna said, repeat His name and sins will disappear. Thus you will destroy lust, anger, the desire for creature comforts and so on. Then the devotee again asked a question, how can I take delight in God's name? Sri Ramakrishna answered, pray to God with a yearning heart that you may take delight in His name. He will certainly fulfill your heart's desire. So saying, Master sang a song, pleading with the Divine Mother to show her grace to the suffering man. O Mother, I have no one else to blame. Alas, I sink in the well these very hands have dug. With the 6 passions for my spade, I dig a pit in the sacred land of earth. And now the dark water of death gushes forth. How can I save myself? How can I save? Surely I have been my own enemy. How can I now ward off this dark water of death? Behold, the waters rise to my chest. How can I save myself, O Mother? Save me. Thou art my only refuge. With thy protecting glance, take me across the other shore of the world. The master sang again. What a delirious fever is this that I suffer from. O Mother, thy grace is my only cure. False pride is the fever that racks my wasted form. I and mine are my cry. Oh, what a wicked delusion. My quenchless thirst for wealth and friends is never ceasing. How then shall I sustain my life? Talk about things unreal. This is my wretched delirium. And I indulge in it always, O giver of all good fortunes. My eyes in seeming sleep are closed. My stomach is filled with the vile worms of cruelty. Alas, I wander about absorbed in unmeaning deeds. Even for thy holy name I have no taste, O Mother. I doubt that I shall ever be cured of this malady. Then the master said, even for your holy name I have no taste. A typhoid patient has very little chance of recovery if he loses all taste for food. But his life need not be despaired of it if he enjoys food even a little. That's why one should cultivate a taste for God's name. Any name will do. Durga, Krishna, Shiva, any name will do. Then if through the chanting of the name one's attachment to God grows day by day and joy fills the soul, one has nothing to fear. The delirium will certainly disappear. The grace of God will certainly descend. Sri Ramakrishna has given all assurances positively. Only you have to do it. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain. Once 2 friends were going along the street. When they saw some people listening to a reading of the Bhagavad. Come friend, said the one to the other. Let us hear the sacred book. So saying, he went in and sat down. The second man peeped in and went away. He entered a house of ill fame. But very soon he felt disgusted with the place. Shame on me, he said to himself. My friend has been listening to the sacred word of Hari, and see where I am. But the friend who had been listening to the Bhagavad also became disgusted. What a fool I am, he said. I have been listening to this fellow's blah blah. And my friend is having a grand time. In course of time, they both died. The messenger of death came for the soul, for the one who had listened to the Bhagavad, and dragged it off to hell. The messenger of God came for the soul of the one who had been to the house of prostitution and led it up to heaven. Verily, the Lord looks into a man's heart and does not judge him by what he does or where he lives. Krishna accepts a devotee's inner feeling of love. And there is a very famous story in Bhagavad where the glory of the divine name is well declared. There was a Brahmin by name Ajamil. Due to his birth, parentage and social upbringing, he was a young man who maintained all the practices and observances of a righteous life. He was orthodox in a way, doing all tapas, everything that was needed for practicing spirituality. He was virtuous and pure-hearted, lived in an austere way. He was learned in the Vedas and other scriptures and followed the ways of conduct written there. He accorded due respect to his parents and elders. He was friendly and helpful to all, moderate in his speech, and he had his senses well under control. All these qualifications were there. One day, however, he was led off in a most unruly fashion by the senses and the mind, leaving behind the scriptures, the study and the observances. He took up a lifestyle the very opposite of austere. He fell in love with a prostitute, and without any real way to support her and the 10 sons they eventually had, he took to gambling, highway robbery, stealing and corruption. So the rigorous orthodox Brahmin, he ended up like this. So he spent the remainder of his years until he was 88 years old. And Narayana, the youngest son, was most dear to his parents. He was the youngest son of Ajamil. Absorbed in his life, Ajamil was completely unaware of greater forces at work. He did not feel his lifetime ebbing away, and he did not even consider that his own death was approaching. One day, there appeared 3 of the fiercest creatures imaginable, carrying huge ropes, grinning and beckoning horribly. Ajamila didn't even recognize the attendants of Yama. He was frightened thoroughly. He screamed aloud to his child playing nearby, "Narayan, Narayan." At this cry from the dying man, who had not even realized he was dying, the attendants of Lord Vishnu came rushing to Ajamila's side, blocking the attendants of Yama. Then the messengers of Yama roared angrily, "Who are you to obstruct the order of Dharmaraj, the Lord of Justice?" The attendants of Lord Vishnu, however, were equally adamant and replied challengingly, "If you are indeed the attendants of Lord Dharmaraj, then you would be able to tell us the essence of Dharma and its science." A heated debate began on Dharma and Adharma and the effects of acts of merit and demerit. The attendants of Yama recounted Ajamila's previous history, which even by the simplest calculations of accumulated merit and demerit didn't work very promising. They argued that his unrighteous conduct far outweighed and negated his observances of the Vedas and other scriptures. Also they argued the lords of Vishnu had no right to interfere in the first place, as Ajamila had just been calling his son. Yet Vishnu's attendants stood firm and proclaimed, "Whosoever utters the Lord's name, even by accident, calls for protection." Furthermore, they countered, "As a fire consumes fuel, so the Lord's name, whether chanted with or without knowledge of the greatness of the name, destroys the unrighteous elements in a person. A powerful medicine, though taken by someone unaware of its properties, is still effective." So the attendants of Yama were defeated. They could not answer anything more. So they returned empty-handed. Then Ajamil immediately left for Haridwar. Very sad sat on the banks of the river Ganga practicing yoga of devotion. For those who aspire for liberation, there is nothing more powerful than the chanting of the Lord's name. If this can rescue Ajamil, the Srimad Bhagavata tells us what to say of the results that can be obtained by chanting the name of Hari with faith and devotion. So, love and prayer, Sri Ramakrishna pointedly tells love and prayer. Do these things sincerely. Surely you will be uplifted. The point is, in one way we try to practice spirituality, in another way we try to become more and more worldly. So that's why we are always constantly in danger. So how we should be able to reduce our worldliness, that depends upon the practice of spirituality. Well, Sri Krishna also tells in the Gita, Mahamanusmara, remember me. Manmana bhava, mad bhaktaha, madhyaje mam, namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi, yuktvayam atmanam. You will attain me surely. And he tells very clearly, as if they are commandments. Fix your mind in me. Bow down to me. Worship me. You will come to my abode. There is no doubt about it. So, that is the purpose of taking initiation. Mantra is given, is very powerful. The divine name is very powerful. Only we have to practice it with all sincerity and devotion. Then really we get the spiritual benefit. Thank you. We are actually in the last chapter of the Gospel, page 990. It was Sunday. M had arrived the day before and was planning to stay till Wednesday. The household devotees generally visited the monastery on Sundays. The Yoga Vasishtha was being studied and explained. M had heard a little about the teachings of this book from Sri Ramakrishna. He taught the absolute identity of Brahman and the soul and the unreality of the world. The master had forbidden him and the other household devotees to practice spiritual discipline following the method of the Advaita Vedanta, since the attitude of the oneness of the soul and God is harmful for one still identified with the body. For such a devotee, Master used to say, it was better to look on God as the Lord and oneself as his servant. The conversation turned to Yoga Vasishtha. Yam said, well, how is Brahmajnana described in the Yoga Vasishtha? Rakal said, hunger, thirst, pain, pleasure and so on are all Maya. The annihilation of the mind is the only means to the realization of Brahman. Yam asked, what remains after the annihilation of the mind is Brahman. Is it not true? Rakal said, yes. Yam said, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that. Nangta taught him that way. Have you found in the book that Vasishtha asked Ram to lead a householder's life? Rakal said, I have not yet found anything like that in the book. Rama is not even admitted by the author to be an incarnation of God. Presently, Narendra, Tarak and another devotee returned from the bank of the Ganges. They had intended to go to Konnagar on the other side of the river, but had been unable to find a ferry boat. They sat down. The conversation about the Yoga Vasishtha went on. Narendra said to him, "There are many nice stories in the book. Do you know the incident of Leela?" Yes, I have read the book here and there. Leela had attained Brahmajnana. Narendra said, "Yes. Do you remember the story of Indra and Ahalya and the story of how King Viduratha became a Chandala?" "Yes, I remember." Narendra said, "What a wonderful description of the forest." Narendra and the other devotees were going to Ganges to bathe. Yam accompanied them. The sun was very hot, so Yam took his umbrella. Sharat, a devotee from Baranagar, was going with them to take his bath. He often visited the monastery. Yam said to Sharat, "It's very hot." Narendra said, "Is that your excuse for taking the umbrella?" Yam laughed. The members of the monastery were clad in gerva. Yam said to Narendra, "It's really very hot. One is liable to get a sunstroke." Narendra said, "I see that your body is the obstacle in your path of renunciation. Isn't that so? I mean you, Devendra Babu." Yam laughed and said to himself, "Is it merely the body?" After bathing, the devotees returned to the monastery. They washed their feet and entered the worship room. Saluting the deity, they offered flowers. Narendra was a little late in coming to the worship room. He found that there was no flower on the tray. There were only a few bell leaves. He sprinkled the leaves with sandal paste and offered them to Sri Ramakrishna. He rang the bell, saluted the deity again, and joined the other brothers in the big hall, which was known as the room of the Danas. The members of the Math called themselves the Danas and Daityas, which mean the ghosts and the demons, the companions of Shiva. They took these names because of their utter indifference to worldly pleasures and relationships. The southernmost room of the second floor was used for meditation, contemplation and study, and was known as Kali Tapasvi's room, since Kali used to shut himself in there most of the day. North of this room was the worship room, and north of that again was the room where the offerings for the worship were prepared. From this room the devotees used to watch the evening worship. North of the offering room was the room of the Danas, a very long hall where the members of the Math used to assemble. Here the household devotees and visitors were received. North of this hall was a small room where the devotees took their meals. East of the worship room and of Kali Tapasvi's room ran a long veranda, at the southwest corner of which was the library of a society of Baranagar. Between Kali Tapasvi's room and this library was a staircase, and north of the dining room was another staircase leading to the roof. Narendra and the other members of the Math often spent their evenings on this roof. Then there they devoted a great deal of time to discussion of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Shankaracharya, Ramanuj and Jesus Christ, and of Hindu philosophy, European philosophy, the Vedas, Puranas and the Tantras. Narendra, who had a beautiful voice, used to sing in the room of the Danas and teach music to Sharat and a few others. Kali used to take lessons on the instruments. Many, many happy hours they spent together in that hall, dancing and singing. Shall stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart might be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and bearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. How I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou, who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.